Quick note, if you set the city-state count to 0 and play with barbarian clans, the barbs will never evolve into city-states. Do consider that in your game setup. Welcome lazy gamers, welcome back to Civ 6. I've been on a Kupe trip for a while now, and the guide I put out last was a natural culmination of those games. Do check that out if you haven't already. So I played many games to showcase here. Some had unique challenges, but after you see the victory develop early, the games got uninteresting, and often the initial starting momentum was just too huge to lose the game. I had this GBR start, for example, which was leading into a war game. After I found Matterhorn close by, the game was going to go easy. And see this Terra start, very overpowered. I did play this out and had a culture victory, but the land made all the choices so very easy. This would not be a game I want to showcase. This Gobustan start, however, was looking challenging. I was guaranteed a strong religion and faith game here. Any early difficulties I faced were pretty much wiped out by choosing work ethic. The game got easier and this was a sub 200 turn culture win. In all the games, I was recruiting about 3 heroes, setting up a monster coastal empire. To an extent, the land tiles were not important and the games were very one-dimensional. Went back to the map settings and tried a few more tweaks. I dropped the CS count to 2 for little to no early advantage from city-states. Quick note, if you set the city-state count to 0 and play with barbarian clans, the barbs will never evolve into city-states. Do consider that in your game setup. Decided on a Terra map but opted for high sea levels here, and this is what we roll. Need to find good land, but lots of planning is warranted. And I'll need some RNG help too. I also committed to not rely on more than 2 heroes. The first 50 odd turns are going to be rough and barbarians will be a huge headache. Stay on for how I chose to approach the start. Let's join the play a few turns in, and I have pretty much locked in my settle options. Sweet. Foreign trade is boosted. And I think I'm going to settle on the olive tile. So the thing with Terra maps, all the AI civs are going to be clustered on a single continent, and the second continent is going to be completely empty, which is the one we are hoping that we are settling on. There's a 50-50 chance here that we are settling on the empty continent. There is, however, an advantage to settling on the same continent as the other players. You meet the AI civs early, you can have trade partners early, the tourism modifier will kick in early, and later trade routes to all the AI civs will boost tourism. But you may have to deal with a hostile neighbor, and the main continent on the Terra map can get a bit crowded.
We are by the grace.
We met England, Victoria, and since we've settled on the luxury, I think we'll trade this. I would have preferred lump sum gold from her, but that's fine. And we would definitely want to start Monument first. Monument first simply because we are playing with the heroes mode, and it'll give us the opportunity to hire a hero early. And we'll go for astrology. We got the astrology boost from the ruin, so let's get that first. I covered this in my guide, but my targets as far as heroes is concerned is Sinbad, Anansi and Hercules. Maybe Himiko later in the game when we have more city-states. Ooh. Wonder. Eyjafjallajökull. I'm gonna call it the Icelandic volcano for simplicity. That Barb Scout could be a problem. So quick points about Barb Scouts who haven't found your land yet.
An enormous and lofty column of...
They will not attack or capture civilians, so you can use your civilian units to block their passage. We will need to bring the warrior back to deal with this threat. The risk is small, but if for any reason the scout's camp is destroyed by you, by a CS, by a city-state, then the scout will become a homicidal mess. Early game you can chance it, only works on scouts though. When you're dealing with boats and later with skirmishers and rangers, this will not work. You got a free scout. Gotta be careful with the scout though. Aggressive scouting often gets them killed, especially when we know there are no city-states and AI civs nearby to buffer you from the barbs. I'm expecting a lot of camps in the immediate vicinity, which is why raising early gold is so important. You have the option to buy military from the clans if you're in a pinch. I was not happy at first being at the edge of tundra, but the volcano improves my prospects by a bit. Our capital is overall a little weak. We don't have any wooded tiles and we just grew to the rice tile. Yeah, I think I'll have to spend some gold and buy some of the wooded tiles. Then we unlocked Void Singers, that's good. But I want Pingala set up ASAP. And yeah, we'll pick Void Singers with the second or third promotion. Okay, let's put some preliminary pins down. At least like where I would want my cities. A city right on the camp is perfect. And I think one on the river south. But I'll decide where after I get more visibility. Yeah, without the volcano, those two southern cities are trash. Could make a preserve play here. And if I do, I think this is a good spot. The challenge with preserves is you want, in the perfect world, you want lots of woods. And you want it surrounded by land tiles. So the volcano looks like it's on the edge or it's very close to the southern coast.
I don't believe in astrology.
It is not wisdom.
Okay, easy enough so far. I think I need the production here. Eventually I'll put down either a preserve or a holy site for faith. Or potentially we will get faith from Void Singers. But yeah, but I think we are looking at a late Pantheon this game. It's safe to assume that all the good Pantheons are going to be taken up by the AI. So if I put a preserve anywhere south of the volcano, I'm sure that preserve is going to be on the coast or very close to coast where one or more tiles are not going to be land tiles. And the grove and the sanctuary don't affect sea tiles. So putting preserves on the coast, yeah, don't do it. Alright. Yeah, one thing that's interesting about this volcano is it goes off very, very often. And it's usually like it's going to be in tundra or snow, but it definitely improves the tiles, which makes city settles very, very viable. The only thing I will not do in this case is settle right next to the volcano. The yields will be fantastic, but the volcano will keep going off very often. It will just keep wrecking my plans. Okay, we have one more camp. Okay, I might need to buy things here. Cool. Having a slinger in the camp is actually easy. It's far easier to take down a camp that has a slinger in it than anything else. Let's slam this. Hopefully I can get a heal very soon. Or a promotion very soon, which will heal me up. Alright. We're good. This camp is gonna be fine. In fact, both of these are fine. I can actually raid them and raise some more gold before I kill them. Almost.
When you find yourself in
Mining's done. And yeah, let's clear this camp now. Or next turn. Since I have two warriors here, I'm gonna raid this Grey Rat clan. Should be okay.
every nation lives.
Alright, foreign trade is done. Let's kill camp 1. Raid camp 2. And I think I will need a boat soon enough. Yeah, this is... okay, I think I have the gold. I should buy some better tiles here. I think the 2-2 is fine. It'll become a 2-3. Yeah, that too. Okay, now we are good. Like if we settled in a spot where we had like tiles like these to grow in the first ring, there would have been, things would have happened maybe a couple of turns sooner. I'm going to queue up a settler now. In fact, I think before I lean into a religion or a holy site or in any district, I think I'm going to try and get 2 settlers out and settle the area around the volcano. Okay. If nothing, no other unit spawns, that camp will be, we'll kill the camp next turn. In 2 turns actually. Alright, we see our first boat. And that boat is gonna be, let's see, let's hope he chases us so that he stays away from our borders. Yeah, these guys are weak. I think they need to heal for a few. Oh crap. Alright, we got faith. That's good. Awful timing for this guy to spawn. I think he can take 1 blow, but I need a path for him to run away. Yeah, it's gonna be a few more turns before that camp can be killed. Oh good, this boat is chasing us now. Let's see. Okay. This guy heals in place, and this guy... Let's see if I can draw the guy down. If he goes north, then my northern warrior might be in trouble. Okay. Now let's hope the boat doesn't come down towards my city. Okay. There's another boat on this side. Yeah, I think I said this before. When you play with these settings that I have set up, barbarians are going to be your most... the number 1 problem you're going to deal with all game. There's going to be so much open land for barbs to spawn that after a point it just gets... Yeah, if you're not set up for it, they can wreck your game completely. The same setup if I'm not playing barbarian clans, if I'm playing base like just normal bob camps, this would be a much harder game. And in fact, in a game like that, you have to lean into an early military. A game when you play without barbarian clans has a high likelihood to evolve into a war game. Okay, let's move this guy south and make sure he doesn't go adjacent to the volcano. Alright, so I think my pins in the south is fine. That's a good enough spot for the city. I think another city somewhere on the river southeast of my capital, and another city somewhere on the peninsula there.
Bronze is the mirror.
Oh sweet, that's good. 2 turns, camp should be dead. Archery is boosted.
Son, have you seen the rain of God?
Hello. A kill. I could settle for it. Maybe later or in the mid game. Oh, damn it. Damn it, the boat. Yeah, the boat's gonna wreck my 4-foot tile. I wish, maybe I need to scout a little more. Hopefully I can find a camp or a sea camp so I can buy a boat. But it's safe to assume that unless I buy a good boat with gold which I really needed for other things, that tile is gonna be toast. Cool. Alright, all camps on our small continent are dead. For better or for worse, like the landmass that is what constitutes this Terra continent is split, or I think it's because of the high sea levels. I'm assuming that the continent north of us is going to be the one that we want to be settling. Okay, I think Golden Age is guaranteed, and that's good. Let's get a trader here. Fishing boat is crushed.
I am fond of pigs. Look back over the past.
Alright, Holy Empire is boosted. Now I do have a choice. Bengala further down, but I think Void Singers now is fine. The Faith is going to give me the Pantheon zone. Luxuries are going to be a problem here because I think we see olives, we see a wine, we see sugar and turtles. I was deliberating whether I want to go irrigation here, but I think we definitely want to get to pottery. But then I think irrigation is just natural because we will have all our luxuries except for the turtle are irrigation luxuries. Alright, 9 turns for the era change. Alright, Pantheon time. So what do we want? I think our Tundra land, Dance of the Aurora is always going to be a good play here. If we get a religion, I think the complexion of that religion will need to be a little different than what I anticipated or what I was planning for. Because my first choice would have been Feed the World and choral music. But we're not going to be forced to a religion, so I'm not going to be making a play for that. But if you're going to get some high adjacency holy sites with Dance of the Aurora, +5 is not the best for the capital, but I think maybe there, or I think I'm going to put it in lieu of the preserve here because my southern city is in the tundra and will have a better choice of or better options to put down the holy site. And really, if my capital wanted to build the Mahabodhi temple, it could do it if I use that tile. So let's place the holy site there. And we will beeline to a religion after this. In fact, Wanganui also should be planning its holy site soon. I'm gonna go for drama and poetry now. Can't boost it unless we hit a ruin or something.
No man ever wetted clay.
So general rule of thumb is any city that can't put down a high adjacency holy site will start with a theatre square or a harper depending on its needs. Yeah, okay. Let's go and find a spot in this area here. I think right on the sheep is perfect. It has great coverage. If I put a city on the sheep, then I can put one more city north on the coast next to the turtle. Let's take a peek. Yeah, we'll move the settler in the general vicinity, but I want to take a peek on the copper tile and see if there are any sea resources south. That could change where I want to eventually settle. But that spot on the sea, actually, you know what? Yeah, let's go to the luxuries. I think we need to improve the luxuries sooner. But there are boats in the area, so I gotta be careful here. But I'll try and improve the time. So a cool thing with Kupe is because like the galleys can't leave the coast or they can't enter the ocean tiles, but Kupe can. You can pretty much scout out of range of the galleys if you see them, and even effectively lure them away from you. It's actually a very huge advantage that Kupe gets. But sometimes, like, you see situations where you see a patch of land with like two tribal villages. You want to grab them, but there are like 5 boats in the surrounding the area, so you can't really get close to make landfall. And I've lost like tons of units in the quest to kind of try to grab some of these ruins. But yeah, at least like if you just want to leave the barbs alone and scout your way, continue scouting, yeah, it gets definitely easier with Kupe. Okay. Yeah, I think I have the gold and I will let's get some military here. Oh damn it. Yeah, I will die if I grab the... Yeah, let's back off here and we'll heal up. And this warrior can move closer. Okay, 3 turns for the era switch. I do have a tendency to scout in a little bit of a cavalier fashion, and I have lost tons of units this way, but it's fine. When it works, you look like a genius, right? And when it fails, which it often does, yeah.
The man who has grit enough to...
Irrigation is complete and we unlocked owls. So I think we met a city state here. Johannesburg. I guess it's okay. So Johannesburg gives us production for every improved resource in our lands. The way it is worded, sounds a little misleading. But what happens is, let's say a city has 2 improved luxuries in its borders and another bonus resource, for example. So 3 things. With Johannesburg as your ally, you are going to get 3 production in that city only. And every city pretty much does a flat count of all the luxuries and bonus resources that the city has improved. And that's the plus whatever amount of production that the city gets. So from a pure production standpoint, Johannesburg is actually quite strong. Now the challenge for me is you want to be improving tiles with resources and luxuries will definitely improve, but with resources. So the thing like, so I put the pin down on the sheep tile here, hoping to like put a city right down on top of it, but maybe I should settle not there but 1 tile adjacent, because improving that sheep is going to net 1 production to the city, which in the early game is quite huge. It's pretty much like free urban planning policy. If you're going to stay allied with Johannesburg for the entire game, as I would expect, if you do get Anansi, harvesting anything in your city borders is out of the question. Well, it's situational really. It depends on what you are planning to do with that harvest and how you plan to use that tile. But let's see, this could get interesting. While I was expounding, we are in the monumentality golden age now, and the plan for this era is actually, on the short end, it's pretty simple. Raise our faith number, spam settlers, settle as much land as we can, starting with our small landmass, but then eventually we definitely want to put cities out in the north. But generally speaking, I don't know if this game is going to go well beyond the 200 turn mark. So there is going to be a practical limit to how many cities we will end up putting
May the
down.
forces of
I'm
evil...
expecting we'll end up at close to like 10 to 12 cities before we decide that we are not going to be settling anymore. So it is safe to assume that large swaths of the land north of us actually will stay vacant. I mean, that land will pretty much be open to the AI to settle into that continent. But we'll see. We'll see how it actually practically plays out. For now, we need to get our sim game in gear and try to grow our cities and put down more districts. Oh, looks like Uluru is in the game. I'll use my scout to discover it. That way, the scout can possibly get the experience. Having like highly promoted scouts into the mid and late game is actually quite useful. But yeah, when an easy offer presents itself, there is no reason why you should not, or why you need to pass on it. I have one charge left on this builder, and I think it's still important to improve all the luxuries first. Oh good god. We unlocked Sinbad. And yeah, definitely gonna get him. Get the shrine first. Sinbad is gonna boost our gold game by quite a bit.
What a grand sight this must present in the...
Alright, we saw Luru now. Nice, Suzerain, Johannesburg, I think I will. Let's do it. Sweet. Suzeraining Johannesburg definitely opens up. It definitely opened up the visibility on the continent, but not as much as I would have hoped. That's fine. Now, yeah, I don't have enough faith yet. My faith is actually it will be fine. In about 30-40 turns, we will have our total faith should be very good. But right now it is not. So I think gold is gonna be the way we... Once we get Sinbad and we start raising gold, that's going to be the way. We are going to be buying our settlers first. Hello. Jerusalem. After we have the religion in place, Jerusalem is a very good suzerain. Net, Jerusalem helps in spreading our religion faster, as long as you have multiple holy sites. Now, Opango, I think I'm going to chop that marsh here because I do want... I think I'm going to leave that spot as a location for a future government plaza. I think we are very close to cranking out settlers by the boatloads now. And having the government plaza and potentially ancestral hall in place, it will be good. Now the scout here, yeah, they should just continue mopping up all these tribal villages. The game setting started off with 2 city-states. Any more city-states we see on the map are going to be evolved bark clans. So it might be a while before we get our 3rd or we get more city-states in the game. And since both these city-states spawned on the Terra side of the map, the AI civs have been screwed out of any contact with any city-state. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. This could be a possibility. It does handicap the AI a little bit and definitely benefits me. That's fine. Alright, so we have Sinbad. Before we talk about Sinbad, let's take a moment and talk about Johannesburg here. And talk through Johannesburg's ability. So cities receive 1 production for every improved resource, and let's take a look at our cities and see how this actually plays out. So you see that in the capital +2 resources is because of the rice and the fish. In Wanganui we do not see any because we don't have any improved resources, and in Opango we see the +2 from the turtle and the wine, and we'll get more after we improve the olives and the sugar. So when you have Johannesburg's suzerainty, you can definitely help your early game. As long as you have Johannesburg's suzerainty early enough, you can help your early game with a good amount of production by improving every unique thing around you. I'm going to take a moment here and put some pins down. Yeah, we'll do some preliminary district planning here. We have a good amount of land. And I think an entertainment complex smack in the middle of this block is good. But I'm not getting good coverage or optimal coverage with this. But let's see. We might need more than one if we end up building them. And if I do end up putting down entertainment complex, I'll definitely try to get the Colosseum somewhere if it's available. I could try for... Yeah, I think since Oracle is available, I think I'm going to make a play for it. Cool, that's the first charge expended on Sinbad. And I think we have some gold here. Let's buy a settler. My faith game is still not great. And I think it's time to get a few of our own boats here. I was hoping to buy them from the clans, but I think that's not happening. Oh, damn it. I was hoping to discover the new continent with Sinbad here. He could go in any direction, literally, and run into barb boats to gain money. I want to be a little smart about how I use his time with us. So, when recruiting heroes, unless
Poets
you
have been
absolutely need the hero right there and then when it is unlocked, it is generally better to recruit a hero in a city that has built a holy site and a shrine, because the shrine gives the hero you recruit in that city 10% more lifespan, which for someone like Sinbad is actually quite huge. So Sinbad gets like a fixed number of charges to take down camps and boats. Or rather, he'll basically, as far as boats is concerned, I think 2 charges on a boat will kill the boat, and a single charge on a camp will kill the camp. And each of these expends earn you gold, a good amount of gold actually. But after that, after his charges are expended, Sinbad will earn gold when Sinbad discovers new continents and discovers new natural wonders. Once his initial charges are done and he's taken care of any of the barbs that he needs to, assuming you are not under immediate threat from like barbs or a military near you that you need Sinbad close to your borders, you want him to travel, to wrap around the world, discover all the continents, try to discover as many natural wonders you can that are near the coast. And that should be the MO. When Sinbad has a longer lifespan, which is what a shrine will give him, the odds of getting more money, getting more gold from these discoveries goes up, and that's what you should be playing for. There's no hard rule to this. Every once in a while, your situation may demand you get Sinbad early to take down 3 or 4 ports that are harassing you. Yeah, do it in that case. There is no harm in that. So one more consideration I definitely enforce, and this is not really a Kupe only thing, it's you can do this with any leader. If you have Magnus installed in your cities with the promotion where the cities don't lose population when you recruit a settler, with the monumentality gold links, you can buy settlers with faith and gold. You can do that in the city that Magnus is installed in, and the city will not lose pop. If your initial plan has taken you away from having Magnus installed, your cities will lose pop. So generally speaking, try to avoid this in your capital, because your capital should continue to grow without losing population, just so you can place down the
and all
districts
I
you want
ask
when you
is
want
skill
it.
without
Having
imagination.
some secondary cities planned for when you do not have a plan for Magnus installed early and promoted to provision is actually a better play, because you can buy your settlers in your secondary cities. They will lose pop, that's fine, but it's not going to be your capital, which will keep your momentum going. If we get the Oracle, it will be huge. I need to prioritize my capital districts immediately after whatever happens. If I get the wonder, I'll plan my districts, or I'll have to rethink how my districts go down. And if we lose it, that's fine. We'll start with the harbor. Now, Wanganui has some good options for a strong holy site. But you know what? I think I'm going to get a builder here and chop the woods before I place down the holy site. There's an opportunity cost to putting the district down early or waiting for the chop to get the extra production for it. And I tend to favor the latter. Okay, I moved this guy down onto the sheep, but I don't want to settle on the sheep. I want to move... What's a good spot here? I think 1 tile north or 1 tile northwest is the right play. I think I'm going to go northwest. I think going straight west doesn't really get us anything better as far as the southern tiles is concerned.
It is equally important to have a happy...
Alright. Still 3 charges left. And I think let's buy 1 more settler here. And I'm going to put down the government plaza. Yeah, I'm not going to wait to settle the cities. Unless I'm close to finishing the ancestral hall. That's fine. There's a nice +8 on the woods there. And I could apply the same strategy here. Get a builder and chop that out before I place down the holy site.
Each of us is carving a stone.
Alright, second volcano city is down. And this city is going to be a little challenging to plan districts around. But let's start with an old god obelisk. Yeah, let's get the walls up first. I know there are some boats in that area. I have no idea where they came from, but I do not want the city to be threatened. That city, I think, will put down a theater square first. Well, it's able to. Hercules. Alright. Yeah, it's a little too late to... Well, actually, he will be useful if we can get him. Let's see. Maybe, I mean, once... obviously, I can't get Hercules in my capital because the capital has earned Sinbad. But one of the expands, if they... After they finish the old god obelisk, I can make a call if I want to get Hercules there. But honestly, I think Miko or Anansi has better value long term. God damn it. I was hoping to snipe that camp, but I got kicked out. It's okay. So seeing this camp is actually good. It's my first sea camp that I've seen all game, and I can... it's in a spot that can evolve into a city-state. So I'm not going to kill that camp, but I'll definitely be using it to buy some boats. He still has one charge remaining, but I think he can start scouting and trying to discover more lands, more continents and stuff. I got to plan how I want to put down my cities on the northern landmass. In the past, I tend to be a little aggressive with, like I would go for the Uluru and the kill settle off the bat. But I don't think that's the right play here. I think I need to keep my geographic continuity in, or think about my geographic continuity before I start settling. So the actual wonder settles might be a little late.
Politics is the art of...
Alright, government, and I think autocracy is better, and we'll plug in Corby here. Diplomatic League is a little early, but I think it's fine. There are no city-states on the map, and it'll be a while before the first clan evolution to a city-state happens. But it's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. But autocracy and Corby is going to get me... Hopefully it gets me the Oracle very soon. And after that, it'll open the door for more wonders. So as Kupe, if you are beelining for mercantilism, and then if you are beelining for conservation, you are actually bypassing the secondary governments that will unlock. You are not on the exploration path anymore, and you are not on the theology or monarchy path anymore. The path to mercantilism and conservation keeps you away from getting the secondary governments. So we will be in autocracy for quite a while. The advantage for wonders is great, but Corby will have a limited lifespan because Corby only operates on the early wonders. So we may have to juggle a few policies later, depending on how many wonders are available.
Lift.
We met Lautaro. It looks like this land is blocked off. Okay. Oh, good God. I was hoping to get visibility on the camp before things start slamming me. And I can stay out of range here, but I think it's going to be tough. There are quads in the area. If I get visibility on the camp, I can buy the boat from them, which helps them evolve into city-states faster. That probably doesn't happen with the camp in the snow there. Place the holy site down earlier, and yeah, let's improve the tiles that we want to be working first, and after that we'll improve the resources. Okay. Eleanor? Korea. Okay. So I do have one charge. Let's burn it. Now I have well over 1,000 gold here. That's good. And I think Amani to Jerusalem just makes sense here, because I will have multiple holy sites down soon. In the grand scheme of things, Jerusalem's suzerainty is not as important as the other ones. Well, there is no one else, but I'm assuming that as they evolve, I think the other ones will be more important, or some of them have the high likelihood of being more important than Jerusalem. Because our religion is isolated and we have multiple holy sites, and the religion will naturally spread to our cities very fast. You don't need the help from Jerusalem to make it happen any more faster. But it's fine. I'm not complaining. It's good to have any benefit. All right. These guys are weak, and I think I'll slam them. Alright. I'll promote him next turn. And yeah, we gotta improve things here. I should buy a builder. Yeah, let's do it.
I sprang upon the swift ship in the form of a dolphin. Pray to me as Apollo Delphinius. Also the altar itself shall be called Delphinius and overlooked forever.
Cool. Oracle is done. That's gonna help my game by quite a bit. The most important way Oracle helps is it will help me use my faith better. Let's promote this guy. I'm really hoping to get visibility on the camp there, but I don't think it's gonna happen. And Sinbad is going to be scouting now. So let's come down this coast, wrap around England, and then try to go generally west and see where we land. So Lautaro is... okay, let's declare friendship here. He is friendly, it's good. The more friendly neighbors we meet, we are going to not shy away from declaring friendships and get alliances, regardless of who they are. I mean, be opportunistic here. We'll try to keep more friends on the board. I'm a little lazy this way, but when you are pushing for a culture win, you're going to ask for open borders with everyone, and having alliances in place simply means that is one less civilization that you got to keep doing that periodically. That's just me. I think if it suits you, you can keep your options open as far as alliances are concerned, and just deal in open borders on a case-by-case basis. It does get tedious though towards the end game. So the best holy site in Vakarevariva is right there, and I think I'm going to chop that area before. And these pins are useless now. Let's take them off. Maybe I should just give up on this quest of mine to find that camp. I think I'm going to abandon the general area and scout the southern edge of this of the Terra continent. Alright, holy site number 3 is down. And Korea is friendly too. They are neighbors, so I'm going to hold off on getting any friendships here. The luxuries that I see present an interesting problem. Capital only has olives, while Opango has like a bunch. And if I do put down, and I will put down an industry here, then I have multiple copies of olives. That industry can only, or should only, go in the capital, because that's pretty much the only industry the capital can build. The other luxuries, depending on my other settles, I can put down a different industry in Opango. So I'll probably need one more builder to improve the olive in Opango, and then I can put down the industry in the capital. Yep. So we have our great profit, but we are a few turns away from You know what? I think I'm going to wait before founding a religion here. I think I'm going to do it after I finish my holy sites. Very simply because if you found a religion, all your cities that have completed holy sites will get the religion the turn you found the religion. But even if you're one turn away from finishing the holy site, your city starts off with no religion, and you have to take
People
the
who
effort
cannot
to
find time
spread
for
the
it.
religion. And I'm just trying to avoid that. I was deliberating chopping that or not, but I think it's fine. I think 4 turns and then I'll get my religion in place. And I can use that river tile to put down a commercial hub later in the game. Alright, olive industry is down. The olive industry is not the best of industries because it gives you a benefit for building civilian units. It's okay, it will help. I don't expect to be building a lot of civilian units in the capital, but it will be useful eventually. But I would have liked some of the other, like culture or science would have been so much better and more useful to us. Holy. Okay. So we just netted Anansi, and I think I'm going to queue her up in Wanganui. It's going to take a while though. It's 14 turns because Wanganui is... I mean, even after having a strong holy site with work ethic, it's going to take 14 turns. But it's fine. We are definitely getting Anansi here. So Anansi, generally speaking, is better as early in the game as possible because she gives a flat amount of science and culture. And that flat amount goes a long way the earlier in the game you get it. At this point in time, like the costs for the culture cost and the science cost is high enough that it doesn't impact. There will be a positive impact, but it will not be as huge as it can be when you get Anansi, like as your first hero very early in the game. We just boosted construction, and I'm definitely going to get some tours this game. And let's place the commercial up now. Actually, no. I should place the theatre square down because I do want to get the Murray in the capital as soon as possible. I think I'm going to swap these tiles. I think instead of the campus, I think a theatre square will go there. And I can build a wonder. The Great Lighthouse is 10 turns. Let's place the theatre square and we'll place the wonder down. I think the Great Lighthouse is fine. The vision and speed benefits that 2 units from the lighthouse is going to be useful, especially on a map like this. Japan. So we met Hojo and Georgia. Alright. Yeah, when I was looking at the colors of the borders and the last turn, I was thinking to myself, yeah, it's either Japan or Georgia. Guess what? We saw both. Well, the borders I saw were Japan, but Georgia is also in the game. Time for a religion now, since the 3rd holy site is down. Yeah, let's get the bird with work ethic. So I'm going to get Anansi much quicker now. That was actually a brain fart. I thought I already had the religion in place. But yeah, but work ethic, and I think I would have opted for culture, but I think I'm going to go for science here because I think the next big challenge is going to be the race to reach flight. The sooner we reach flight, the faster the culture win happens. So I think our culture game is going to be fine with the Murrays, with our theatre squares. It's going to be great, but our science game is going to need help. And yeah, I think Pingala gets to researcher now. I think there are way too many boats on the eastern side. Quadriremes on their own in challenged waters are never going to be safe because they are vulnerable to galleys. 2 galleys can take down a quad very easily. Long term, I think that quad needs to stay closer to my borders, just protecting my shoreline. I think let's see. Which other city is in need of a trade route to my capital for food and production? That city is my target to get the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus if I can get it. And yeah, that city will need all the production and growth help it can get. I think Sinbad's primary job right now is to try and find some new continents and wonders. New continents, I don't know if he might find like maybe one new continent, but I'm really hoping he can spot some wonders. Our gold game will be fine later. Right now our gold per turn is not really great. So any bone surplus gold we get right now is coming from Sinbad alone. Opango is at 4 population and I should place down a district. So let's place down a campus here. And since the second district is placed, I think I'm free to buy settlers in Opango. Yeah, in hindsight, I think going with the Magnus first strategy might have been better this game. Your settlers do get cranked out earlier because your cities don't lose population. But I mean, the downside of that is Pingala wouldn't have been set up where he is right now. He would have been like a couple of promotions behind. So our science and culture game would have been slightly slower. But we potentially could have had more cities. So we have one governor promotion and I want to save this promotion for the next stage. Because yeah, it's 8 turns to the next era. And I definitely want to promote or take the Void Singer's chorus promotion. The chorus promotion is really cool. For all the faith you make per turn, I think about 20% of that absolute value you get in science, culture, and gold, I believe. I mean, it's huge. I mean, just for the science and culture alone, it's like totally worth it.
Like to the apples.
Yeah, hello. Dead Sea. That gave us a bunch of gold. That's good. Oh.
Without
I wasn't expecting the era score from the Theta Square, but we have it. Let's go for construction here. Now I gotta be careful. I don't want any more era score unless I absolutely need. I don't need the era score, but if I need to build something that needs to happen right now, then that gives era score, I'm not gonna fight it. I don't want to go out of my way to maximize era score here. So just have to be watchful, because if I can defer getting the era score from this era to the next, I think I should. Okay, the continental split is right there. So we are 7 odd turns from... Let's move our settlers in place here, but I probably won't settle them. Until we are in the next era. Because settling on a new continent is going to give you era score. We earn some diplo favor here. And I could raise some more gold by selling some diplomatic favor here. I think I can wait. I think I'm good right now.
We can no
Okay,
more
theology.
have exact religious thinking without...
I think I can skip out of Corvi and plug in scripture here. We met Sweden. Sweden always presents an interesting challenge. Yeah, like if I want to play a future game showcasing how diplomatic victories can be executed, I'm not a big fan of them anyways, but if I decided to do that, I think Sweden would be a very, very natural safe pick. Another sea camp. Oh, good God. Yeah, retreat. You know, 5 turns and... Okay, let's put a pin down where we want to settle. But I'm going to use this settler and move him some other spot. I think I'll put a city down with that settler on my continent. And I think right there on the Mercury is probably the best spot. Yeah, next turn I'll start moving in. And I think I'm going to get another settler here. And that new settler is the one who will populate who will settle the new continent. India. Oh, damn it. I was exactly the thing I was trying to avoid here.
As it turns out, Mount
And we saw
Kilimanjaro...
Kilimanjaro too. That's good. That's actually, I don't mind that. But since we met all the civs in the game, that gave us like 5 era score just for that event, and we have earned a great admiral now. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not going to pass on him. Gaius Julius gives or basically you can turn a naval unit into a fleet, which we definitely, I think I'm going to turn my quad into a fleet and use him for home defense. Yeah, we have overshot. I mean, what, 3 turns ago, we were at like 65, 66, 67, something like that. And suddenly in a space of like 3-4 turns, we are like 16 points above our era score needs.
The 4 building blocks.
Okay, I can get my quad kill. That gives us a boost for naval tradition. I can buy a legion here. But I should not have. Yeah. So the good thing with the legion is that all legions, they have 1 charge to harvest something. And actually that's what I was thinking about when I fat fingered the click. Think of a legion as 1/3 of a builder with fighting ability. Yeah, but the downside was I could have deferred that era score to a later point here. That's fine. Let's settle the new city. And the city should build an old god obelisk and probably place down a harbor. Either a harbor or a theater square. And I'm not sure which one. Yeah, no. Let's do theater square here. We have other cities that are harbor first, so this is fine. And Vakari Vareva can build the Mahabodhi. Yeah, let's do it. And my single promotion, let's hold on to it. And we earned Anansi. She's here. Anansi. Is it Anansi a she or a he? I think it was a he, right? I think Anansi is male. I could be wrong about this, but the challenge is going to be finding tiles for Anansi to harvest. I mean, generally anything that's in a city's 4th ring is a valid candidate. But further away is even better, because I think some cities will grow out to the 4th ring. And knowing that we have Johannesburg, even if you improve a resource in the 4th ring, it will give you the benefits. So I gotta just be watchful of that. I think this is Sinbad's last turn. Yep. Sinbad's dead. But we have Anansi. Yeah, let's boost mass production here. I'm gonna remember to like remove it later, because after conservation, the woods are better unimproved. So let's see. After improving that olives, I think we have a monopoly on the olives anyways. And our multipliers are pretty strong. So I think this is a good time to go around the horn and make sure we have open borders across the board. Most of them are not they will ask for a good chunk of gold, but I think I'm okay doing that right now. I think having the open borders in place sooner, and especially at this point in the game, will help get the culture win quicker. So this is how it looks like right now. Not bad. No one's generating any tourism yet. And let's try to buy all the luxuries we can from everyone. No relics for sale, no heroic relics for sale. And I don't think anyone has earned writers just yet. Okay. Yeah, I think those 2 fish tiles south are... Yeah, I'm going to harvest them. We'll promote next turn. And we are in the medieval era now.
This lighthouse was the cynosure of all eyes.
And we finished the lighthouse.
One man's magic. With the advance of feudalism came the growth of iron ore.
And I think this is a good spot to take a break. So I think the hard part of the game is behind us. We are 2 eras in, we are past the ancient and classical eras. The medieval era could also be a little challenging, but I think we'll be fine. I think now it's all about expansion and sim. And pretty much the next 30 odd turns, or maybe even 40 turns, is going to set the stage for our culture win push. Yeah, but there are a bunch of things that need to happen in this turn. We'll go over them in the next video. Thank you for watching and tune into the next one. If you have made it this far and have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, share with your friends, or consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, my heartfelt thanks to you. Thank you.